In this video, we are going to be talking about percentages and financial mathematics. And when we talk about percentages, we are talking about you dividing some number, some values by 100. So whatever is the number you are bringing in percentage means that you are dividing by 100. And generally, as a rule of thumb, for you to quickly solve questions on this, when you see something say 150%, and you want to get this of some number, say of 10, this is nothing but just 1.5 multiplied by 10, because if you divide that 150 over 100, 150 over 100 is 1.5, and this will give you nothing but 15. And in the same way, if you have something like 75% of say 20, this is nothing but saying you are just having 0.75 of 20, and if you do this, this will also give you nothing but 15. Okay, so in the other case, if you're actually going to reduce some percentages, say something is reduced by 20%, so that means you are saying this is nothing but initially to be 100 minus 20%, so this is referring to 80%. And if you increase by, say you increase by 30%, then I think your guess is right. It will be 100 plus 30, which will be 130% of whatever it is that you are talking about. In financial mathematics, we have generally the concept of simple interest and compound interest. And if you're talking about simple interest, you are saying it is the product of principal times rate times time, all divided by 100. But on the other hand, if you will be talking about compound interest, that means you are looking at an accumulation over time, so it's compounded. That is given as principal multiplied by 1 plus the rate over 100, all raised to the power of n. And in both cases, your P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time value of money that you'll be talking about. In this case, N will be the number of years, synonymous to T in simple interest, and you'll be able to solve your question. Many times you may be given the simple interest, you may ask to find the principal, or you may be given the principal, the rate. In this case of compound interest, you will be requested to find the compound interest, and these are the formula that you just need to use, and consistency with them can eventually help you to solve your questions effectively. Now, the other thing you can come about is maybe percentage loss, percentage gain, profit and gain. In that case, if it's going to be profit, then it will be the difference between, say, something like selling price minus your cost price, but then it will be divided by the cost price, all this multiply by 100%. So this is your percentage profit, and then percentage loss will be the reverse of it. That means that your cost price is greater than your selling price, and you will find that. But this is not only applicable to this. You can also say you are looking at something like, say, percentage error, in which you will be looking at error itself over the actual, okay, then multiply by 100%. All of these are scenarios you can come about, and in our subsequent questions, we are going to be demystifying questions using all these principles. We just want you to get your pencil, get your biro, get your book, and let's work together. That's what will be proficiency with you, and you can go ahead and solve a number of questions together. All right. In this question, we're told that a student measures a piece of rope and found that it was 1.26 meters long. If the actual length of the rope, look at that language, the actual length of the rope was 1.25 meters. So the actual length is 1.25 meters, and we have to find the percentage error in the measurement. Here, percentage error is going to be the discrepancy between the actual and the measured, and you can see the measured is 1.26 meters. So we can say we're having measured 1.26 minus actual 1.25. Now we'll be dividing with the actual, which is 1.25, then times 100%. So now if you want to evaluate this, you can just say the percentage error. In this case, it will be 1.26 minus 1.25 will be 0.01 over 1.25 times 100 over 1, and we have that percentage. Now let's just do a number of indices, because this will eventually just work our way out interestingly. So in the first case, if I'm having 0.01 and I want to move the decimal place into 2 places, our decimals have taught us that, you can check the video, we've done that. This is going to be 1 times 10 raised to the power minus 2. Now 100 itself is 10 raised to the power 2. We are dividing by 1.25 is also going to be 125 times. Now look at this decimal place, we are moving it from after 1, we move here and here too, so we have it as 10 raised to the power minus 2. So that means what we're having here is that this is going to cancel this, and we're having just 10 raised to the power 2, that is just 100 divided by 125, and you can just say you want to cut out 25 here can go 4, 25 here can go 5, and 4 over 5 itself is nothing but 0.8. But already we have our percentages coming all along, so we are going to have this as 0.8 or 0.80%. And looking at the options, you can see that option C is exactly giving us that solution. What I just want you to note is that you don't need to be punching calculator and looking for, okay, let me bring out my calculator solve. That may take time. If you have been practicing this would have been a very good walkover for you. Convert to standard form. In standard form, you can simplify it easier, and you can get your answer to be 0.80%. In this question, we are being asked at what rate will the interest on 400, that means the principal itself, it's 400 naira, okay, increase to 24 naira. So the interest, okay, meaning the simple interest we are looking at is nothing but 24 naira, and then the time that we're looking at is what, 3 years. We are being asked to find the rate, and if you recollect, we have already said that our simple interest is nothing but principal times rate times time over 100. But in this case, R is what we are looking for. So if we make R the subject of the formula, you are cross multiplying, you are going to see that R will be nothing but 100 times that simple interest divided by principal and time. So if you just plug in these values, you can say our rate in this case is 100 multiplied by simple interest found to be 24 divided by the principal was given as 400 and the time is 3. We can just go ahead to divide 100 here 1, 100 in 400, that is 4, 4 here 1, 4 in 24, that is 6, 3 can go in 6, that will be 2. So the rate is going to be nothing but 2%, which is option B. So you can see the consistency of knowing our values, knowing what to plug in, changing the sort of the formula, how all of this had helped us to solve this, and they are good and fine. Okay, I believe it should be a quick walkover. We'll also find the simple interest given the investment, which is the initial amount, the time 9 months and 4%. Okay, maybe that 9 months is going to render us to be careful, because you know that ideally simple interest is principal times rate times time divided by 100. Okay, but now look at what we have. 9 months in 1 year. Ideally, we know that 1 year is equivalent to 12 months. Okay, what amount of year will be equivalent to 9 months? That's what we need to be careful to solve here. And if we just say you want to cross multiply, you can say that 12x is equal to 9, and if you divide both sides by 12. That means the value of x is nothing but 3 can cut 9, 3, 3 can cut 12, 4. So x, the amount of year, is 3/4 of a year. 9 months is 3/4 of a year. Okay, so you can now go ahead to say you want to find your simple interest to be the principal. We're giving 5,000. The rate we are giving as 4. Okay, and then the time we are saying it is nothing but 3/4, and we are dividing all of this with 100. Notice how I put this. These 2 zeros we definitely cut out 4. We cut 4, so we have 50 times 3 remaining. So that simple interest is nothing but 150 naira, and that is option A. The caveat here, students, is that you are giving the time in months and you need to convert that back to year, which is 3/4 of a year, and then you'll be able to solve your question and find your solution as appropriate. So subsequently, if you see questions that are just simple and easy, I will leave that for you to lay your hands upon so that we can move on and solve other questions. A man earns 3,500 per month, out of which he spends 50% on his children's education. If he spends additional 1,950 on food, how much does he have left? Let's take this piece by piece. So we have his initial earning. His initial earning was given as 3,500. 15% of 3,500 on his children education mean that we're having 15/100 of that 3,500. This will give us, cancel it out, so we have 35 multiplied by 15, which is 35 multiplied by 10 itself is 350. Okay, that 5, the additional 5, is just half of this. This is a quick way that you can go ahead to find your multiplication. That will be 175. So this is 5, 12, remaining 1, 4, 5. Okay, so you can as well do this in long division and see if this is going to give you the same answer. So 15 times 35 is 525, being the amount that is spent on his children's education. So children's education is 525, which is 15% of 3,500 naira. Now he spent additional 1,950 on food. So how much does he have left? So this that he has spent on his children plus children school fees, children's school, the education plus feeding is going to give us 525 plus 1950, and if we add that, it's going to be 5 plus 2 will be 7, 9 plus 5 will be 14. That remaining one plus this one will be 2. Okay, that will be 2,475. So the remaining that he has will just be the amount he was earning, which was 3,500, minus this amount that we have here, 2,475. Again, look at this. If I'm saying 3,500 minus 2,500, I know that will remain just 1,000. But I'm seeing that there is some 25 that is remaining here. So this I can just say is nothing but 1,025 naira. These are the quick ways that students you can just use to solve your question anytime you come across them. What I just see is that this 3,500, this is 2,475. So let's assume I'm just saying I'm keeping 25 here, or I'm adding 25 to this. It will be 3,500 minus 2,500. That's 1,000 now. But that 25 that I've already added to it, let me reflect it. That will be 1,025. So the answer is option B in this case. And students, I believe you should be able to solve this now. You are giving this question to find the time. T is what you are looking for, and you are giving the initial amount 3,000, and the simple interest is 600. The rate is 8%. Just use your formula, change the subject of the formula. Since what you are looking for is the time, make it the subject of the formula and then solve this, and let's have a question in the comment section. Okay, in this question we're told that a woman bought a grinder for 60% and she sold it at a loss. Look at that, a loss of 15%. How much did she sell it? So students, if you like, you can try and go through the method of the percentage loss is the cost price minus selling price over the cost price times 100%. So you can try and do that, but that's not what I'm going to be doing here. I want you to critically look at this. If she is buying it for 60% but she is selling it at a loss of 15%, remember I said a loss will mean a reduction. So that means that the selling price for her is 100 minus 15% of 60k. So students, I need you to look at this critically. Okay, this is just for me a very good and a very fast method of trying to solve this. And if I'm doing this, this is what I'm just going to do. Selling price, because time is of the essence whenever you are working in your JAMB exam, so you just want to get your questions as fast as possible. 100 minus 15, that is nothing but 85. The percentage will mean I'm saying 100, then times 60k. Look at these options, because I'm seeing them in thousands. I don't need to be writing 60,000. I just know that whatever I'm going to get will be reflecting 60k. So this is what I need to cut now. And if I'm looking at this, I can say I cut out 10 here. Remember, k is 1,000, so it's 3 zeros, which is still coming here. So 6, I can use 2 to divide 6, giving me 3. 2 in 10 is 5. 5 here 1. 5 in 85. 5 is in 8 is 1, remaining 3. 5 in 35, that is 17. So you have this as 17 times 3, in short, times 3k, such that my selling price is nothing but 3 times 7 is 21, remaining 2, 3 times 1 is 3, plus that 2 is 51. 51k, and looking at the option, that is 51,000. So this is actually a good grasp of my concept of percentage loss, and even it can be percentage gain, and I can quickly, without having recourse to go and be changing all the formula, plugging in, subtracting and co, I just know that this is going to be what is the effect of her selling at a loss of 15%. This is what is going to be, and I will get my answer out quickly and fast. But students, you can also lay your hands on the formula method, this formula here, and put in all the values and see if you are also going to arrive at the same solution. Okay, and let me know your feedback in the comment section, whether you prefer that method, or if you can grasp this, if you can understand it well, you will prefer this method. All right, a man donates 10% of his monthly net earnings to his church. If it amounts to 4,500, what is net monthly income? Okay, I don't think I need to work this, and I'll leave it for you students to leave your comment, your answer in the comment section. Look at this, 10% is paying his tithe. So if he's paying his tithe of 4,500 naira, what is going to be the full amount that is taken home? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, so this is nothing but a DIY. Do it by yourself. All right, okay, again, this is as simple as it gets, and I don't think I need to solve this. You have to find the simple interest on the principal is 6,500, the time is 4 years, the rate is 6%. Please solve this by yourself. Principal times rate times time over 100, and you will get your answer out. Okay, even though this is also direct, let me just lay my hand on this. A rod which is 10 centimeters in length, so the actual measurement is 10 centimeters. Okay, was measured as, so the measurement itself was 10.5 centimeter when it ought to have been 10 centimeter. The percentage error in this case is going to be the measured value minus the actual over the actual multiplied by 100%. Okay, so that's going to be 10.5 minus 10 divided by the actual, which is 10, multiplied by 100%. So this is just 0.5 over 10 times 100 percentage. And look at this 0 will cut out, and then 0.5 times 10 will be nothing but 5 percentage. So looking at the options that we have, 5 percentage is the correct answer in this case. Okay, here we are told that a trader realizes 10x minus x square naira profit from the sale of x bags of corn. How many bags will give him the maximum profit? So ideally this is looking quite square, coming into simple interest and percentages, but you know we're also talking about profit and loss here. So we can actually look at it that he's selling, the function of his profit is actually 10x minus x raised to power 2 over the sale of x bags of corn. Okay, so we are to find how many bags we give him the maximum profit. So inherently the number of bags that will give him the maximum profit is what we are actually being asked to find here. And ideally, since this is given as a function, for maximum profit, the second derivative, d square y dx square, is going to be less than 0. So that value should be a negative value, less than 0. And if you want to look at the general form of function, that if y is a multiplied by x raised to power n, then the y dx itself is going to be that coefficient a multiplied by that power n, then the variable x, and we reduce the power by 1. If we are to go by this, for this particular expression, we can say first, before we get to second derivative, we need to find first the y dx, and if we differentiate 10x, that's going to give just 10 using this principle. Students, you're supposed to know this, that okay, the power of x itself is 1, the coefficient a is 10, so we have 10, then 10 times 1 is still 10, the variable x, which is to the power of 1, minus 1 will be 1 minus 1 is 0, so x to the power of 0, and any number, any value, any variable raised to the power of 0 is 1. So that's why the variable, the differential value of 10x is 10. And then for we have our negative x squared, that will just be 2x. You can verify that. Okay, getting that, we can now say the second derivative, that means we differentiate this first differential value that we got, the y squared, the x squared, is going to be the derivative of a constant is actually 0, so that is 0. We don't need to write 0, all right, we just know it's 0. The derivative of minus 2x will just be minus 2. The same argument that we have with 10x to be x, the one for minus 2x will just be minus 2. And you can see that yes, this is less than 0. So actually it's going to get maximum profit on this particular function. But then how many bags will give him the maximum profit? That means we need to equate the y, the x. We need, that's the point of turning, we need to equate it to 0, and that means that we are going to have 10 minus 2x is equal to 0. And if we collect like terms or separate the variables to the nose, that means we are having 10 is equal to 2x. Dividing both sides by 2, okay, is going to warrant that here it will cut out 2 here 1, 2 here 5. So x, the number of bags, is actually 5. So option C here is going to be the solution. It's good that this is featuring here. So even though we're still going to come into calculus, at least we are having a foretaste of what we can do with our proficiency if we get to master calculus or so. But as this is also coming in profits, okay, good and fine, we're able to solve it, and our answer is 5. Okay, I think this is a question that you can also do yourself. We are giving the principal to be 225. We are giving the simple interest that it yielded to be 27. We are looking for the number of years, which is t, that was given as x, and we are giving the rate as 4%. Please go ahead, students, and do this by yourself and leave your answer in the comment section for us to review. Okay, Alhaji Salami bought 5 goats for 25,000. Now look at this, they didn't say each, so that means all the 5 goats were bought for 25,000. He sold them to make a profit of 40%. How much did he sell each goat if they were all sold at the same rate? So that is giving us a very good point to note. Now, he sold them all to make a profit of 40%. You can just say that means what we are looking at with a profit of 40% means he's having a total gain of 140% of his cost price, which is 25,000. Look at how I just simplify all this. His original cost price is going to be 100%. He's now making a profit of 40%. Okay, so the total amount that is going to get is going to be 140% of the amount that is actually using to buy those goats. But again, look at it, we are asking how much he sold each goat. So each means that whatever answer we get from here, we are going to actually divide by 5. So this is nothing but 140 over 100 multiplied by 25 over 1. Okay, so 25 here 1, 25 here 4. Can 4 go here? Definitely, I think. 4 here 1, 4 in 14, that will be 3, remaining 2. Okay, 4 in 20, that will be 5. So that means his selling price for all of them is nothing but 35k. Don't forget that k, okay, so that you don't throw away your 1,000 because I've truncated it. And then each one of them is going to be 1 over 5 of that 35k that we are talking about. And of course 1 over 5 of 35k is 7k, which is 7,000 naira. Option D is that solution. Again, I'm deliberate to be using this quick method so that you can learn to master proficiency in this. You can take the other routes, write out your formula, try and solve it, compare our answers, you will see that we arrive at the same thing. But then query yourself which one is the better, which is the faster one, and learn to adopt that. Okay, all right. Student, I think you can do this yourself. At what rate would the sum of the principal deposited for 5 years generate an interest? This is the simple interest. You are looking at the rate. R is what you are looking for. Please lay hands on this and solve. I think it's quite straight and direct. We have this question that what will be the result obtained when the numerator of 96 over 50 is decreased by 37.5% and its denominator is decreased by 20%. So look at what we were explaining initially. We have the numerator, the one at the top is 96%. We have to decrease it by 37.5%, while the denominator, which is 50, we have to also decrease, but now by 20%. And I was explaining initially that this will inherently mean that for the numerator, we just say 100 minus that 37.5%. That is a decrease by 37.5%. Okay, and for the denominator, it will be 100 minus 20. This is the decrease in the denominator by 20%. So inherently, what we're having is 96 multiplied by 100 minus 37.5 will be 62.5% over 50 multiplied by 100 minus 20, that will be 80%. And of course, these percentages will cut out, and I think we'll do it to just use calculator here. Okay, maybe this is one of those rare occasions that we can take in our calculator. So we have 96 multiplied by 62.5 by dividing by the product of 50 and 80. Okay, beautiful. 3 over 2, and okay, if you want to get that out, this is nothing but 3 over 2, and 3 over 2 from the option that is 1.5, option A. So what you need to understand is that this is decrement by 37.5% and this is a decrease by 20%. Once you are able to interpret that, this question, you can see how straight and direct it is. It's not even giving you any cause for alarm at all, and you get your solution out and fine. Okay, yeah, a poultry farmer realized 200 eggs from his beds and he sold 5.5 crates of eggs. What percentages of eggs are left? Now, what is 5.5 crates? A crate of egg consists ideally of 30 eggs, so this is 5.5 multiplied by 30, and that will be 3 times 5 is 15, remaining 1. 3 times 5 again, 15 plus 1, this will be 165. Okay, and the decimal place is taken care of by 0. So this is 5 times 3, which is 165 eggs. Okay, but we are being told that originally his eggs is 200. So the percentage left is going to be the total 200 minus the ones that is sold, 165, over the actual amount, which is still 200 times 100%. This is just a very good analogy of interpretation. So the percentage left is going to be 200 minus 165, that will be 35 over 200 multiplied by 100%. So 100 here, 2, 35 over 2 is going to give us nothing but 17.5%. And looking at the option, you can see 17.5% is option C. We first need to understand that 1 crate of egg is actually 30 eggs. So once we bring that into play here, you can see it's just a matter of plugging in the values and our answers are out and we got our correct solution. In this question, we are told that if a dress is sold for 3,800 naira at 20% discount, what is its original price? So this is meaning that 3,800 is the 20% discount of the original price, and that means it is 100 minus 20 of the original price. Let's call that X. So of course, I've been consistent with this. I think by now you should be able to grasp this very well. This is equal to 100 minus 20 is actually 80. The percentage means over 100 of X. And here, if we just say we want to solve it by cross multiplying, so you are going to have X will be 3,800 multiplied by 100 over 80. So 100, I think I would like to leave that out. This 0 will cancel this 0. And let's see, 8 here 1, 8 in 380, that will be 4. 8 times 4 is 32. 38 minus 32, that will be remaining 6. 8 in 60, that will be 7. 8 times 7, that will be 56, remaining 4. 8 in 40, that will be 5. So this is nothing but 47.5 times 100. So again, look at, of course, we are seeing the value there already, but let's be consistent with what we are doing here. This decimal place, working with this 100, in the first case 47.5, and then in the first case the first 0 of the 100 we move it here, okay, and then the other 0 we move it here, so it's as if we have 0 here. So this is nothing but 4750 naira, and if we bring our currency in, we can see that option D is that solution that we are looking for. Again, understanding this concept really helped us to come around to solve this question quick and fast, and not needing to go the long way of writing formula, resolving, putting subject of the question, and just wasting time. This is quite fast and quite easy. So that's all we're going to be having today. We want to believe that it has been a worthwhile experience walking through these questions on simple interest and percentages, and we want to believe that with you putting in the due diligence, trying your hands on those that we are leaving, or even just watching this and then keeping tabs on them, working them out by yourself, we want to believe that that will help build your proficiency and set you on that path to excellence that you are going for. Do well to check our other videos, and don't forget to like the video, share with your friends, share with your loved ones, leave a comment for us to have feedback on what we are doing, that yes, this is actually impactful, and we want to actually trust that we will see you at the very top. It's DaveTuts Academy, and until next time, God bless you.